Stay put!
Greetings, Traveler in Paimon. What time is it?
Are you okay, Ganyu? You were nodding off there. Didn't you sleep well last night?
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Let's discuss the matter at hand. Since last time, I've been thinking a lot about the story Paimon told me. In essence, someone rescued a drowning man and performed some music. If that were all there was to it, it could have been many people. But the tune was allegedly so wonderful that the drowning man forgot about everything else, even his own impending death. Perhaps there was an adeptal power at work in that music that he, as a mortal, could not perceive. Or perhaps he sensed a power surrounding him, but either way, if this part of the story is true, then the rescuer has to have been an adeptus.
You really think so? But this story is all the way from Fontaine. Also, Paimon's really curious about how people from Fontaine think this fairy lady looked. Then she looked just like Ganyu. Guess that does technically make sense. Actually, Ganyu, if you had to save a drowning person, how would you go about it?
Huh? Me? Well, I'd get them to the shore, and then I'd probably hide behind a tree and watch them for a while. Once I was sure that they were going to be okay, I'd slip away without a sound.
Got it. So basically, Ganyu's the type of person who doesn't like taking credit for her good deeds.
No, it's not like that. I'm just not very good at explaining things. And I also find it really awkward accepting other people's gratitude.
Well, what if this adeptus in the story had a similar attitude? That would explain why she just left without saying a word. She was probably thinking something like, one was merely passing by and saw fit to address this egregious disruption to one's graceful zithering at once. You may keep your thanks to yourself.
That was actually a very good impression of Cloud Retainer, Paimon. As far as I'm aware, Cloud Retainer isn't the most musically gifted. Still, we can't completely rule her out just yet. If we set off now, we could head to Mount Outsung and ask her about it. You'll be able to confirm either way if it's her, and I can, I've been in Lea Harbor for so long now that I'm just not as familiar with the Adepti anymore. If there's anything we want to know about them, she's the best person to ask.
Sounds great! And we're pretty close with Cloud Retainer by now, so we probably don't even need to bring her food this time, right?
I've prepared a gift for her to mark the festival, just in case. However, Cloud Retainer spends most of her days studying mechanisms in her abode. She's on her own so much of the time that the moment she has someone to chat with, she just... Never mind. I promised I'd help Mr. Dvorak, and now that I've made the contract, I can't be having second thoughts. Traveler, Paimon, let's set off for Cloud Retainer's abode.
Seems like this is a tough decision for Ganyu, but she's made up her mind now. Paimon gets why she'd be so anxious. Okay, how about... Wait, did she leave already? Hey, Ganyu, wait up!
Yeah.
Paimon's so tired from trying to keep up. Don't either of you need to take any breaks?
I can't believe it. Cloud Retainer is not here.
Huh? Did we miss her?
She doesn't like to travel, so in the past, it's always been the other Adepti who come to visit her during the festivals. True. Now that I think about it, Cloud Retainer would be quite capable of taking care of anything on her own. There's no need to worry about her. Since she's not here, I guess the next step is to check all the other Adepti abodes, one by one.
Uh-oh. Will it involve a lot more traveling? Got it!
Please go on, Paimon.
Our goal here is to find the Adeptus. We can't hear any music right now, but if...
Yes, I think that's fair to say.
So, all we have to do is get the Traveler to pretend to fall into the water, and the Adeptus will come to the rescue! You know perfectly well that Paimon can't swim! Paimon would sink like a rock! Just trust Paimon! The water's pretty deep over there! Quick, swim to the very center! Help! Help! Someone's drowning! If only there was a kind-hearted Adeptus here to save us! Oh no! Whatever will a Paimon do?
What is going on? How do you feel right now?
Shenhe! And the Conqueror of Demons.
Why don't you say something? Please don't make Paimon explain it. Okay, fine. Paimon will explain. We're looking for an Adeptus who's good at being a lifeguard and playing music. But if the Adepti aren't gonna stay home, then how are we supposed to find them?
It wasn't me.
Yeah, so this Adeptus is most likely a woman.
And I am not an Adeptus, as you both already know, Traveler and Paimon.
Okay, so this is Paimon's fault. No way Paimon would have suggested this idea if she'd known how awkward this was gonna be.
Glad you're okay. As far as I know, the one you seek is no Yaksha. And one last thing. Your actions here caused others a great deal of worry.
As ever, the Conqueror of Demons comes and goes, just like the wind.
Right. I didn't dare to say a word just now. How's your training going, Shenhe? Have you made any plans for Lantern Rite? We could spend it together in Liyue Harbor if you'd like.
Oh, I had planned to spend the festival with Master this year. However...
Oh, speaking of Cloud Retainer, when did you see her last?
Earlier this morning. She set off for Mount Hulao at dawn. I noticed she was using an Adeptus art of some kind to protect a mechanism that looked like a boiler.
So we just missed her. Please excuse me for a moment. I think I'll leave the gift in her abode.
Sure. Thank you.
It sounds like Ganyu and Shenhe have gotten a lot closer recently.
Yes. During the summer and winter, I continued to train with Master. In the other months of the year, I have been learning to adapt to human life in Liyue Harbor. Ganyu arranged accommodations for me in the city, but when I try to blend in by referring to her as Miss Ganyu or Lady Ganyu, like the others, she says I mustn't address her like that. Sometimes I'm supposed to copy other people. Sometimes I'm not. Oh, is that what it is? Noted. So, you came looking for Master today because you wanted to ask her about the Mystery Adeptus.
Yep. Oh, speaking of that...
Music? What is that?
It's...
Okay, I'm done. I also left her a note so that she knows where to find us. We won't miss her again.
Yay! That's really helpful.
We were just talking about this thing called music.
Oh, really?
This is the place. I enjoy training here to the sound of music.
Oh no! Paimon's gone deaf! Paimon can't hear anything! Oh, whew! Paimon hasn't gone deaf after all! Anyway...
The faint sound of birdsong, the quiet murmur of the streams.
Oh... Paimon wasn't quite done with the description. Okay, fine. It's all Paimon's fault.
Oh. And a melody is?
Hey! Don't you patronize Paimon! Let's get one thing straight. Paimon knows plenty of nursery rhymes, but Paimon does not sing on demand! Why don't you just sing that one melody Shen has heard before? It'll
Oh, was that from the opera that Yoonjin sang?
Mm-hmm. That was a melody, and
It felt like I was transported back to the past. We're all there, raising our glasses and drinking to our heart's content on the Jade Chamber. As I watched Yoonjin's performance, I felt a warm sensation in my heart. When you hummed that melody just now, feelings from a whole year ago came right back to me. So that's the power of music.
wow, Shenhe. That was so deep! Music definitely has the power to bring up memories. It's like a time capsule with all the special moments from our lives squished inside. What about you, Ganyu? Are there any melodies that have left a deep impression on you?
I don't remember if my parents ever sang any lullabies to me. I know some local folk songs. And a few other things come to mind, too. The songs of the sailors down at the docks. The little ditties that the vendors call out in front of their beloved shops. The tunes of folk artists performing on the streets. Yes, that's right. In the past, whenever I heard the sound of those tunes, I always felt that they were worlds apart from me. Nenny and Liyue probably view me as a non-human. And they are right, in the sense that I never could connect with humans' artistic expression and their sentiments. So I haven't been able to integrate into their community and be a part of their lives. At least, that's the view I held in the past. Only more recently did I start to realize that the only barriers are ones that I have erected with my imagination. The way those melodies make me feel isn't all that different from other people after all. Even though we come from different backgrounds and have different stories to tell, when it comes down to the most common things that we see and experience around us each day in the city, in that sense, we're all the same.
You go, Ganyu! You're really making progress. You have loads of friends in Liyue Harbor when you think about it.
Yes, I am. Technically speaking, we should refer to each other by the conventional forms of address used among fellow disciples. But now that I know what constitutes a friendship, I do believe we are more friends than co-disciples.
Thank you, everyone.
Once the days are warmer, I would like to host you at my home in the city. Please invite Kuching as well. I've planted many types of flowers. I'm sure some of them will be to your taste.
You are too kind. I couldn't possibly.
Nonsense. You are my friend. I have cultivated and cared for the flowers just as you taught me. Once you've seen them for yourself, I am sure you can advise me how to do an even better job next time. I will save some for decoration. We can feast on the rest.
Then, thank you in advance. Wait, what is that saying again? If you insist?
Do people say that?
It doesn't matter, okay? You got the point across. No need to split hairs. Paimon's more concerned about your idea of a girls' night out. Eating flowers? Really? Does this have anything to do with you both being the disciples of that illuminated bird?
Who dares refer to one not by one's Adeptus title, but merely as that illuminated bird?
Master.
Our greetings, Cloud Retainer.
Ah! There it is! The illuminated bird has landed!
Double humph. Now she has the gall to use it rather than she, even after being chastised once already? Barely a moment has passed since we last met, and yet your impertinence has reached new heights. One has received your message from Ganyu. Well, shall one lead the way?
I still have to complete my training for today, so I will bid farewell to everyone here.
Very well. Await my arrival at one's abode later this night. On this special occasion, you should indulge yourself with some savory dishes.
If you want to release a Shao Lantern, come and find us anytime.
Thank you, everyone.
Oz, reveal by...
Right now, right here.
Scatter! Midnight Phantasm.
Right now. Right here. Emerge.
Don't be scared!
The process of elimination.
is this? Guili Plains? Cloud Retainer, why did you bring us here?
Ganyu is of course familiar with the name Guizhong, but have you ever heard of her? Guizhong is another name of Agentis, the god of dust. She was extroverted in nature and adored social gatherings and inventions alike. Long ago, this region was yet a prosperous assembly. Guizhong often invited her friends to visit her home, reserving for us seats. Sea Gazer would always bring out his latest treasure and place it upon the table. He could be quite the braggart.
Paimon remembers that name.
He was an old friend and a former rival. Once he had brought out the treasure, it would predictably become the center of attention. Neither Guizhong nor One was content to let him just steal the spotlight. As Adepti, we were each gifted in our own ways, and naturally proud of our accomplishments in our respective fields of expertise. His treasures were not even of his own making. He just used his exploration skills to dig them out of the ground.
Cloud Retainer, you are getting competitive again.
One digresses. Regardless, every time an argument occurred, Guizhong would come over to watch us during our mutual lambastings. On some occasions, she would join in, and on others, she'd take one of us by the limb and start uttering the most ridiculous nonsense.
What kind of nonsense?
No kind of nonsense were we spared. Sometimes she would brazenly opine, why argue between yourselves when neither of you could ever hope to beat me? Other times, she would make unsolicited suggestions, such as, once you two are done arguing, let's go to the foot of the mountain and grill some meat. She always sought to make everyone happy, and one must say, she had quite the gift for it. No matter what nonsense she said, one never felt bothered or offended. It also helped that she never referred to one as that illuminated bird or lady bird.
Come on, get over yourself!
Anyway, just as our impassioned arguments would reach the apex of acrimony, Marchosius would bring his delectable dishes to the table. Who would dare snub the stove god and his wondrous creations? At the sight of him, we would all immediately drop the argument. Back then, one was always bothered by how the cups Rex Lapis brought were always too square for one's taste. Can you see yourselves ever enjoying a drink from a square cup? Then you are most tolerant. Even one could never find fault with Marchosius's cooking. As we ate, Guizhong, each of those old fossils had their character flaws and points of obstinacy. So why we mountains? Streetwood Rambler would often remain to admire the flowers with Guizhong before returning to her own abode. The glaze lilies were far more abundant back then.
Streetward Rambler?
That would be Ping. You probably know her as Madam Ping.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is a lovely story and everything, but... are you saying that it was Guizhong? Didn't she... already...
Alas, long has one avoided this place for precisely that reason. One should have guessed that you would disrupt one's poignant moment of mourning with your incessant questioning. No matter. In times gone by, one quarreled oft with Guizhong concerning mechanical principles. We each had our ideals, and neither would yield. Under the pretext of a social gathering, one invited the impartial Rex Lapis to judge the quality of our creations. But Rex Lapis declared that Guizhong's obscuro vulpus mechanism was superior. Though one was too proud to acknowledge it, in one's heart, one knew that Guizhong was indeed the superior talent in the mechanical arts. As for the story between Guizhong and Streetward Rambler, that begins with a certain bell. In Guizhong's opinion, While mechanisms were no substitute for human composers, they were yet capable of producing simple but fine melodies. But Streetward Rambler believed music to be an expression of the soul, an emotional enterprise that could never hope to be replicated by machinery. They argued endlessly, until one asked Rex Lapis to intercede. He confiscated the bell and designated it for ceremonial use. Thereafter, one would often find them convening in the mountains, discussing music, mechanics, and all the affairs of the mortal world. But these good times were not to last. War broke out between the gods, and soon engulfed the Guili Plains. Guizhong was overpowered by the enemy, and fell in battle. When Streetward Rambler and I arrived at the scene at long last, all that remained among the ruins was her lifeless body. After this, at Streetward Rambler's request, Rex Lapis granted her the cleansing bell for safekeeping. To honor our friend's memory, one made a few finishing touches to her ballistic device. Many lantern rites have passed since then. Many greetings and goodbyes. Upon what do you gaze? The Guili Plains?
No. It's everything. We think of human life as like a lantern that's lit one minute and extinguished the next. But are we Adepti so different? Perhaps as dust settles after a storm, we too must one day return to the world below.
What? You have loads of friends!
Just because one is not ignorant of social graces does not mean one is fond of them. But in the end, one is nothing like Streetward Rambler. She is dauntless but thoughtful, not to mention eloquent and wise. Moreover, her friendship with Guizhong was far greater than one's own. Back when they were rivals, they would often compete against one another in the realm of musical composition. That cleansing bell was one of Guizhong's proudest works, having the ability to both compose and perform.
Wait, that's weird. Didn't Madame Ping say she pestered an old friend for that bell? And she also said something about being a vain beauty when she was young or something.
Streetward Rambler, a vain beauty. My foot. That bell has a sad history. Clearly, she refrained from sharing with you the truth of its origins, since the right time had not yet come. As for her old friend, who else could it be? As soon as Streetward Rambler heard that a certain Zhang Li wished to borrow the bell, she realized that the man was none other than Rex Lapis, and that he had made an enormous decision. After all, we all have known each other for several millennia.
Whoa! So they were talking in secret code?
Enough of your intrusions. The cleansing bell is powered by a mechanical art, and can be used to great effect as an accompanying instrument. But Streetward Rambler did not acquire it from Rex Lapis for the purpose of producing further funerary tunes. The two once clashed over their beliefs about the meaning of music. Who would have thought that with Guizhong's passing and Streetward Rambler's mourning, two tunes composed in discord would eventually become one harmonious composition? Once upon a time, Streetward Rambler also loved gatherings, liquor, and music. But after Guizhong passed, she preferred her own company. The music would go from mournful to soothing to impassioned. Many years passed before she finally composed a melody to our satisfaction. Which brings one back to the matter you've been investigating. Perhaps it was during that performance that the ancestor of your Fontaine friend fell into the water.
But if she was so happy with the melody.
One was also greatly perplexed by this. In response, she said, "Though the strings that played that melody survive, the one who inspired it is gone. Tell me, Cloud Retainer, when the one attuned to my soul is no longer here, who else could hope to understand this tune?"
Aw, poor Madam Ping.
I just remember being taken care of by you when I was young. Once the Archon War came to an end, I stayed behind in Liyue Harbor to honor my contract. Although I met Guizhong a few times, I never knew anything of this particular story.
Guizhong was quite the visionary, but tragically passed before her time. Her manuscript, had you not decided to search for that mystery Adeptus, perhaps these stories too would have been lost to the sands of time. As of now, you know the truth. Do you intend to discuss this with her?
Do you mean Ping might find the topic too distressing?
Precisely. The passing of our old friend.
If I may be so bold, Cloud Retainer, could it be that this is just your own personal opinion?
Oh? How so?
I've been in Liyue Harbor for quite a long time now, and I've witnessed many farewells along the way. So I, too, am well acquainted with the pain of the passing of a loved one. But this doesn't bring the city or its people to a standstill. They have to keep moving forward. Someone as perceptive and wise as Ping will surely have come to understand and embrace this. Though these immortal mountains have lost an Adeptus, the harbor of mortals has gained a wise elder. No loss can ever be undone. But there is always much that can still be gained. Ping has helped countless people, and will guide many others in the years to come. And all to whom she extends a helping hand become her friends. Though it is heartbreaking to lose a kindred spirit, life goes on, because there are new friends waiting for you further down the road.
We even asked Madam Ping what she thought about adding a music festival to this year's Lantern Rite. Oh, when we get back, why don't we just ask her if she'd like to perform?
You youngsters and your imaginations.
Why don't you come with us? It's been a long time since you last spoke with Ping, and
Is not every Lantern Rite the same in this regard? Were there ever anything new to discuss?
I disagree. Each new day and each new year is different from those that have come before.
The edibles she brought this time were indeed quite delectable. Very well. Then one will be off. If the other old fossils have sneaked away into the city to amuse themselves, one shall soon find out.
All right. We should be getting back to the harbor as well. Once the Guili Assembly, now the Guili Plains. Say, if we planted flowers there and cared for them carefully enough, do you think that one day we'd be able to recreate the Sea of Glaze Lilies?
Allow one to take back one's praise from a moment prior. You are still far too given to flights of fancy, child.
What? Cloud Retainer? You were still listening?
One observed that you were making no effort to leave, and returned to chasten and hasten you. This time, one is departing in earnest.
Yeah!
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Whoa! Madam Ping? And Cloud Retainer?
It appears you made haste after all.
Oh, bless my soul. To what do I owe the honor?
Miss Illuminated Bird.
Said what, precisely?
'Cause you're the one who's known Madam Ping the longest.
Street word. Or rather, presumably, you would prefer to be addressed as Ping?
Oh, Cloud Retainer, you are uncommonly polite today.
Given that Lantern Rite is almost upon us, the weather in the city is most pleasant. Ganyu, please continue from here.
Huh? All right. So, this all started because we were trying to help Mr. Dvorak find the Adeptus who saved his ancestor's life. Cloud Retainer informed us that the one who played that melody and rescued the drowning man was none other than yourself.
Let me think. What a long time ago that was. I'm surprised that you still remember it. Even more astonishing, perhaps, is the fact that this story has survived this long at all. It appears that she has proven herself right once again.
Who's she?
We like to call her Guizhong. From the look in Cloud Retainer's eyes, I sense that she has already told you all about her.
Albeit reluctantly, one might add.
There is no harm done. After all, Lantern Rite's very purpose is to commemorate the heroes who gave their lives for Liyue. Although Guizhong did not live to see the splendid sights of today, she was as much a hero as any other.
So how has she proven herself right again exactly?
Once upon a time, she said to me that humans were a weak form of life that she wished to protect with her wisdom. But as she interacted more and more with them, her opinions on them began to change. She marveled at the beautiful complexity of their spirits. She told us that to underestimate human potential would be to make a grave mistake. With the smallest amount of guidance, and a human who has reached their full potential may well be her equal.
She always had a way with words. That her mechanical accomplishments were judged superior to one's own was...
Speaking of mechanics, Cloud Retainer...
Of course. Guizhong and one both put an immense amount of effort into that gift.
As Guizhong once said, it takes every blade of grass and every flower to make a homeland. When I see the sight of Liyue Harbor before us today, I am reminded of this.
Madam Ping looks very emotional right now.
Of all of us, it was Guizhong who was the fondest of these grand and exciting occasions. If she were still with us, I'm quite sure she would still be trying to best Cloud Retainer's finest works at every opportunity.
Liyue Harbor is always filled with the sound of music at this time of the year.
Oh, yeah! We've been dying to ask. Oh, also, with you being such a music expert and all...
I can make arrangements right away.
Oh, as much as I don't wish to dampen your enthusiasm, it's been a long time since I played this zither. My fingers don't have the dexterity they once did, and whenever I play that tune, it always reminds me of her. I start wondering what she would think of the changes I have made to her melody. There was a period of time whenever I started strumming, it almost felt like she was back again. Sitting right there on the stone stool next to me, chatting away. No matter how much time goes by, the moment that melody starts playing, it transports me right back to that time in my memory.
So the past still weighs heavily on your heart?
Well, I would be lying to myself if I claimed to have completely moved on. But that is not to say that grief doesn't get easier with time. Despite the sadness, I have found many things that bring me joy in life. Just look at this potted plant. Isn't it stunning?
It takes an honest and open mind to confront and conquer grief. You have indeed made progress.
Be that as it may, I shall leave the lantern rite stage to the youth of today.
Well, if you're sure.
Granny! Whoa, what's everyone doing here? Did something bad happen?
Ah, and now we've spooked Yanfei. No, everyone's just here to give me their regards for the holiday.
Oh, that's wonderful, I'm glad. Well, in that case, happy Lantern Rite, everyone.
Happy Lantern Rite. Oh, I just remembered that I have some, work to do at Yuehai Pavilion that I need to discuss with Yanfei. I haven't been able to find a chance until now. I will leave Mr. Dvorak in your capable hands. Cloud Retainer, Ping, we will be off for now.
Huh? Does it have to be right now? Which case is this again? Hey, Ganyu!
It seems Ganyu still has much to learn when it comes to the art of deception.
What a pity. She has learned nothing of one's ability to carry a conversation.
Since it's been so long, Cloud Retainer, why don't you stay? I'll make a cup of tea and we can chat a while.
Gladly. This was one's intention as well.
When you next see the Fontaine musician, please give him my regards.
You got it, Madam Ping.
Thank you all. As for that melody, I will play it for you all another time.
Wow, that'd be great!
When that time comes, wherever her spirit may be among the countless grains of sand and specks of dust between the harbor and the mountains.
All right, let's go tell Mr. Dvorak the news.
Ping, what say you to convening more often in the future?
That would be quite wonderful.
You sound just like Shenhe. The child is constantly telling one all sorts of stories from the city, as if one...
Have you ever considered moving to the city, Cloud Retainer? And if you looked around, I suspect you would find some young minds with an interest in the mechanical arts.
We shall see.
Mr. Dvorak! Ah, and Kuchin's here too! Thanks for helping set all of this up.
Welcome back. Did everything go well?
Really, really well. We found the person Mr. Dvorak was looking for.
Are you serious? I see. That certainly explains why it was such a powerful and poignant tune.
Huh. That's a really interesting first reaction.
I have to say, though, it's hard to believe that the fairy from the tale is now an elderly granny.
Oh, Paimon knows exactly what you mean. No, but Streetward Rambler, or Madam Ping as we know her?
Madam Ping possesses vast knowledge and great wisdom. Whatever physical form she may decide to take, her mind and wits are as sharp as they come.
Yep, Kuching summed it up perfectly.
I think... that can wait until after the concert, though.
Ah, finishes you up, Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that she'll stay in her usual spot.
Wait, are you serious? Oh no. Okay. Nope. Another rehearsal is in order. Please excuse me, everyone.
Mr. Dvorak? He's already gone. Before we set off on our search with Ganyu, he had...
Please, share your insights with me.
Well, it can make... music is like a kind of memory written in people's hearts. It can put you in touch with feelings from a totally different time and place.
It sounds like you had an eventful trip. Don't worry, I'm sure Ganyu will fill me in on all the details shortly.
Wait, does that mean you're gonna carry on working?
Mm-hmm. Just a few things to wrap up. As long as everyone enjoys the festival activities, all our efforts are worthwhile. Happy Lantern Rite to you as well.
Whew. That should be everything taken care of, right? Paimon feels like she's forgetting something. Shoot! Latent... Wait, Zhangli said he wasn't in a hurry, so... Anyway, even if we don't make it... Anyway, let's go check with him.
Da 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 da. Da da da. Oh.
All right, let's take a break here.
Oh wow, look who it is! Are you here to hang out with everyone's favorite funeral director?
So you're just casually practicing your rapping skills at the entrance to your funeral parlor? In broad daylight? Okay.
After everything we've been through, you don't see me for a hot minute, and you're back to being scared of your own shadow. We have all this open space.
Invisible.
Gotta say, it took me a few days to get used to Director Who's way of talking.
Xinyan was pretty spooked too when she first got here. Just like...
Come on.
What's wrong? I've never seen someone look so confused before. Well, don't worry, because Director Who's here to explain it all. There once was a Fontaine musician who went around town on a mission. He came door to door for his iridescence tour, looking for acts to audition. With my words, Xinyan's chords, and Yunjin as our mentor, we'll take the stage by storm with flames roaring and the...
For sure! The whole dance floor will be yelling encore! Encore! Oh, now Paimon's rhyming along.
No, don't you worry about that. I'm pretty experienced on the stage, and I've already...
Huh. Guess we'll just have to trust Xinyan on this one.
Oh, Zhongli. He took one of those fancy meal boxes and set off for the mountains. So
It's a real pity that he couldn't be around for this.
Yeah, that's right. To tell the truth, though, I never thought I'd really find myself...
Well, now you know.
I can speak to that.
And jump scare.
Actually, Xinyan, I have some lyric
Sure thing.
Oh, Traveler and Paimon, when you see Zhongli, please pass on this message to him. It's up to him whether you should join us too. It'll be a riot.
Okay, everyone. I think that's a long enough break.
Ms. Eunice, such a strict mentor.
Well, you were desperate to get involved, and this is what it takes. If I gave you half the chance, you'd be sipping tea till nightfall.
Hey, how about I treat us all to some late-night snacks once we're done?
How about some stir...
Where are we going?
We could always just go pester Master... Now I'm hungry.
知った顔だ。
バッチリだぜ。気になるんだったら
昨月は最近よく天候山を散歩しているんだ。
勝利、やっと見つけた。
ちょうどいい時に。本格的なイェンドゥーシェンはとろ火で煮込む必要があるが、
その装置って
龍雲のからくり調理人機だ。
もう煮込み機って呼んだらいいんじゃ。装置には制作者の気持ちが込められてるかもしれないって考え。
また見聞を深めてきたのか。それはいいことだ。昔話を追憶するのはいいが、イェンドゥーシェンが出来上がったら一緒に食べてみてくれ。
そうだ勝利、フータオから伝言を預かってるぞ。今日は応援しに来てくれても来なくてもいいけど、また今度やる宴会には応援って多分宴会にはオイラたちも誘われ。
ああ、俺はここでこの二人としばらく時間を潰すつもりだから、宴会の方は同種がそうおっしゃるならば、滑稽であるこの俺が断るわけにはいかないな。
じゃあまた。
ああ、
帝君、イェンドゥーシェンが出来上がったぞ。
ああ、すぐ行く。鮮やかな色と香ばしい匂い。ここまで足を運んでくれたのに無駄足にさせるわけにもいかない。些細な料理だが、
入りでセンスツアーのステージに出られて、あたいすっごく光栄だぜ。それじゃあフータオとあたいの舞台、耳を澄まして楽しんでいってくれ。その名も投資カリン。
無限の宇宙で唯一の不思議最高値がわからなくたっていい、このハワの宇宙を。流番故郷週間平月超三美神関東小前都市空間生きとぜ超音超高な夢どこか中知恵広報研究合網宇宙高校ヨーヨーヨーヨーヨー。
明日のご予定は？今年のねぎらいに私的で簡単な食事会でもどう？もちろん私のおごりで。
天チェン様のおごりか。存分に楽しまないとな。
来年も良い年であるように。
きっとそうなる。
師匠、消灯を我は。
消灯ごとき師匠が今から新天道地かつ空前絶後のを作ってやるわ。それを持ってリーウェ港に行って人々に見せつけてやるといい。
今のペンマーヤだ。よし、あたいも急いで。
もう夢が一つ叶ったばかりなのに、また。
あんただってそうだろ。
都線本線と。
おお、臨場感が半端ないぜ。
主題を引き立てる宣伝文も考えました。
もうすぐフータオと約束したご飯の時間だぞ。ひひ、場所はなんとあの予約でいっぱいの新月圏だ。さすが同州太っ腹だよな。早速行こうぜ。なるほど。勝利さん。
勝利先生は博識であるとかねてより聞き及んでいたが、勝利先生のような方と知り合えたのは。
そんなことはない。皆優秀な若人だ。それぞれが得意な分野を持ち。
勝利殿、そのもしよかったら。
奉仕の妖魔退治か。少しかじった程度ではあるが、 それでも問題な。
うわあ、もう人がいっぱいいる。プータオが勝利を招待してるのは知ってたけど、まさか友達がこんなに集まってるとは思わん。みんな解答祭楽しんでるか？
ああ、今年もいい祭りだな。
二人もお祭り楽しんでる？私もだよ。観客からもかなり評判が良かったみたい。だから最近は出演の依頼が一段と多くなってるんだって。
ああ、二人ともお前たちによろしく伝えてくれと言っ。
確かに素晴らしい公演だった。ただ見終わった途端。
二人？シャンリンの試食役は僕。
別にそこは重要じゃないだろう。言われてみれば確かに一皿残らず趙雲に押し付けてたっけ。
何？シャンリンが新しい料理を作ったのか？パイモンは私の料理が大好きだもんね。ああ、勝利さんにも感謝しないと。私の新しいレス。じゃあさっきはその。
ああ、食事会だからな。話題はシャンリンはよく己の道を邁進するが、俺の意見はただそれに花を添えただけに過ぎない。
あと勝利さんの案を取り入れて。
まあそれなら大丈夫そうだ。
なら次は僕も試食しよう。
料理といえば、オイラたちをグーパーならなんだか。ほら、解答祭は料理を食べに来るお客さんが多いって。でね、フータオは。
同志はある客を迎えに行くと。時間を見るに。
フータオがわざ。まさか国士？
それが同志の口から聞く。
じゃじゃーん、私たちの到着。あ、遅刻してない？遅刻してないよね。コーマ体制が私と同じで風のようにスイスイだったから時間ぴったしだ。
気品というのはコーマ体制のことであったか。ご公明同志から誘いを受けた際に説明がなかったゆえ、まさか若き英雄だけでなくリーゆえの安寧を守る金宝大将まで来るとは。こうして皆が一堂に会する。
もうすぐ解答祭ですが、今日帝君が突然訪れたのは。
同志の性格だが、俺も手を焼くことがあってな。
帝君を悩ませるとはどのようなことでしょうか。
祭りのためにごま油を購入するよう同志から言いつけられている。
帝君、ごま油を買うのに。
ああ、元将と少しばかり世間話をした。
では。
ああ、それが残念ながら。
かっけえ殿、それは少しばかり。
ああ、この人また始まっちゃった。客人を立たせたままそんな世辞ばっか先に言うんだから。この場にいる人はみんな、外では名の通った大物でさ。高馬大生も旅人と結構仲がいいんだって。おお。
同志もどうぞ。
あれ、やっと私のことを思い出してくれたの？そうだ、さっきここに着いた時、前もって注文しといた料理ができ始めてるって新月軒の店員。さてさて、それじゃ早速料理を出してもらおっか。
そういえば、まさかフータオが迎えに行った客人がショーだったなんてな。
僕も初めて旅人とパイモンが高魔大戦。
ジョーンもショーと知り合いなのか？
知り合いとはちょっと違うな。パイモンは知らないかもしれないが、僕たち奉仕一門は高魔、まさか同志のおかげでこの目で見ることが叶うなんてな。
ああ、名高い高魔大生にお会いできるなんて僕も光栄に思います。この前趙雲からちょうど話をお聞きしたところなんです。高魔大生に妖魔退治を行う奉仕の大切さを
あ、それなら私たちも知り合いだよ。以前料理王決定戦の時に私の料理を仙人さんに試食してもらったんだ。まさかまたお会いできるなんてね。
百聞は一見にしかずとはまさにこのことです。僕はシャンリンと趙雲の友人で行明と申します。
おお、みんないきなり礼儀正しくなったぞ。少様、高魔仙人、大勢、パイもこれでもかなり頑張って言葉を選んだんだぞ。
みんな、そうかしこまる必要はない。
そうそう、高魔大生の言う通りだよ。気を使わせるためにみんなを食事会に招待したわけじゃないんだから。
じゃあプータオは何が目的でみんなを呼んだ？
親族や友人を招いて集まり、手に持った味わい深い茶を共に飲みながら空へと昇る明かりを見る。これこそ9年に別れを告げ、新年を喜ばしく迎え入れることだ。以上、勝利さんが言いそうな言葉でした。みんな
その通りだ。風同士は俺の。
私はね、ただ賑やかな場が好きで、この1年みんな頑張ってきたでしょ。それから料理や商売、妖魔、往生堂の仕事を時々ってみんなまあそんなみんな
確かにただ調子に乗ってるだけのようにも聞こえるけど、理由。
お前が考えてるほど複雑。
わかった。おかみさん、ありがと
う。おかみじゃなくてオーナーよ。本当に元気な子ね。あっという間に行っちゃったわ。
高魔大生、小仙人、防除旅館の守護士、敵歌集の大英雄ね、いるんでしょう？
はあ、静かにしろ。そう騒ぐな。
あらら、ごめんね。でもそうしないと姿を見せてくれなかったでしょ。
お前のことは知っている。王城堂77代目同主。我に何の用だ。
確かに風太を同主がしそうなことだ。
つまり高魔大生がいらしたのはその風太の旗迷惑な行為。
ほ
さすが勝利さんは賢いね。まだ続きがあるの？でも続きはつまらないよ。ただ王城堂の諸々と先週夜叉の過去について話してご機嫌。
魔人戦争中は争いが多発し災禍が絶えず、人々は病や死による苦しみから逃れられなかったという。先週は妖魔を払い、洗顔軍は力を振るうも苦戦を強いられた。そんな中、王城堂は疫病の排除や暴婚を送る責務を全うした。戦乱の最中、こうして生死の境を明確に分けることで、さらなる最悪の訪れは免れた。
そうそう、そういうこと。勝利さんに1ポイント。でもそんな古い中でも高魔大生を招待するにはだいぶ時間がかかったんだ。おう、やっぱりあなたは知ってるんだ。
これは避けようのないことだ。我はその影響を考慮しなければならない。
確かにね。で、私も考えたんだよ。食事だけだったらそんな大きな影響も出ないでしょ。
ただこうも人が大勢いるとは思わなかった。
高魔大生、そう心配なさらないでください。特にこの少年法師は巡洋の力を持っています。
それとこれとは話が別だろ。あとさっき人参を僕のお椀に入れてなかったか？あ、目をそらすな。
まったく、何のことを言ってるんだい？
今回は趙雲の肩を持つよ。私も見てたから。今日グーパーがいなくてよかったね。グーパーは食べ物を好き嫌いする人を見るのが大嫌いだから。
え？グーパーってそんなに執念深い性格だったの？けど確かに前にシャンリンからグーパーはかまどの神だって話は聞いた。
その民間伝承を聞いたのか。
今は支障ない。少し前、怪盗祭より前にその彼の助けもあり、我の状態はだいぶ落ち着いている。
そうそうってそこじゃないだろ。
風が物語の種を運び、
時間がそれを芽生えさせる。つい続きを口にしちゃったぞ。でもこの聞き慣れた声って。
あれ？私の聞き間違いじゃないよね。勝利さんもぼーっとしてないで早く扉を開けてあげて。
面倒はかけないよ。お邪魔します。
やっほー。やっと僕を入れてくれたね。
僕たちが昔どこかで会っていたとしても。
あ、金融野郎、どうしてここに？
おやおや、爽やかなお兄さんの登場だ。来る者皆客人なり、出会いとはこれまさに縁なり。
おや、このお嬢さんはまるでお花のようだ。朝の日のようにうららかだ。見た感じ、ここで最も主導権を握ってる人かな。美味しそうなものがこんなにいっぱい。本当に僕も食べていいの？
あ、君は。
あや、陳玉先生じゃ。
陳玉先生？
よーく見たところ、陳玉先生のファン、実は以前ある娯楽小説の読書サークルで 陳玉先生の新作をあんなにも分析できる人が、
ウェンティさんも実に謙虚だ。歯科の際なら、君の方が一枚上手じゃないか。
つまり、こちらは行明殿の知り合いだったのか。
ああ。年の瀬が近づき、解凍祭の時期になるにつれて、前に敵歌集一帯を見て回っていたところ、たまたまこの、
あれ？まだ数日しか経ってないのに、さっきパイモンが言ったように。
ああ。我がこの銀融詩人と会った時、その音色は、抑揚のある美しい調べで。
どういたしまして。
そうか。状況は俺も理解した。俺の名は勝利。今は王城堂に勤めている。
で、私が彼の上司ね。
同志には気を使わせる。
へえ、なるほど。道理で、君みたい。
うちの家系は、本当にすごいんだよ。天文から地理まで、昔のことから今のことまで、なんでも知ってるんだから。でも時々、この人の古臭い話し方を。あ？高魔大生も仙人だったよね。ねえねえ、どう思う？
我は、悪いが、我は妖魔をほふることしか取り柄がない。
あれ？そうなのか？ショウはいろんなことを知ってるし、オイラは物知りだと思うぞ。そうだな。ショウは武人で、普段町にも行かないからな。
へえ、僕は、勝利先生の名前は、酒場にいるお客さんたちから、礼儀正しい若い男が、モンドで一番の酒場に来たにもかかわらず。
そういえば、噂では、気さくで温和な性格をしており。
なんだか照れちゃうな。けど、モンドの詩は全体的にそんな感じだよ。例えば少し前に、意味は確かに伝わるけど、言葉のチョイスがありきたりで。
確かに、文の子、私なら多分こうするかな。鶴にヨボヨボの瓜一つ。それでも花は咲き誇る。
おー、いい詩だね。雰囲気も独特で、スラスラ読める。
やっぱり私の目に狂いはなかった。
握手握手。ねえ、行明。帰ったら、何冊か本を貸してくれない？文章が上手なものを、行明に選んでほしいんだけど、私の読解力のせいなのか、今の詩の良し悪しがわからなくて。
僕が思うに、多分、それはお前の問題じゃん。
趙雲の言う通りだ。僕たちの問題じゃない。
おお、いいな、それ。そういえば、銀融野郎はなんでここに。
今年はリーユエで、芸術はぶつかり合ってこそ。そういえば、イベントを主催、イリデッセンスツアーが、やっと一回、僕たちの中、そういえば、僕の隠れ方が上手すぎたのか、それとも、風の音を誰かさんがあえて無視したのか。
解凍祭になると、リーユエ港は人々で賑わう。皆、明かりを眺めたり、街を見て回ったりし。だが、こうして祭りはつつがなく開催され、新年を迎える今、皆とここに集まれたのは実に喜ばしい。この場を借りて、酒の代わりに茶で
さすが勝利先生、いい話だね。僕の代わりに言いたいことをすべて言って、こんなことを自分から言うのはちょっと本当はこういう時、モンドではお酒を飲むのが定番なんだよね。
気にしない気にしない。全部私のおごりだよ。飲み物がお茶だけなのも。
おいおい、あの二人、急にお茶で乾杯しだしたぞ。
なんだ？ああ。
二人はもういいの？外の空気を吸いながら、食後のお散歩もいいかもね。
じゃあ、オイラも。実は、わかった。
新たな友人は。
いやいや、僕今回出されたのがお茶でよかった。
まさか。
早く帰ってくるんだぞ。正直口
そういえば食事会が始まる前、
料理この前勝利さんが行映像へ行った時に珍しい茶湯とごま。
ああ、もしこれが他の、次。
お前とはもしかして家の商売の
君も僕の家のことは知ってるだろ？
ああ。
行くとしよう。大丈夫か？我には適切な言葉が思い当たらない。状況の問題ではない。かつて1000人の中にも集まって語らうのを好む奴は多くいた。だが1000人にはそれぞれなすべき責任があり、しかし今回はそのようなことは断じてない。むしろ帝君は人間の生活によく溶け込んでいて、ただそれは我には永遠にできないことだ。お前が言いそうなことだ。我は別に気にしていない。故に稀にお前と普通に接していることを思い出すと、とうにも奇妙な感覚に陥る。ああ、風同士のこたびの正体は実に断りにくいものであった。あやつは元素力に縁のある友人しか招待していない。だが他の客人については深淵大将がよく口にしていた。ただあれら衣服の作りは実に精緻なものだった。しかし着るとなると何かと不便でな。だが帝君はあの衣服がお気に召したのか、かなりの数を所有していた。戦乱の渦中であれを着ている姿は見なかったが、まさか後になって。
見つけた。
そんなことはない。
みんながお腹いっぱいになったのを見て。でもあなたたち全然帰ってこないでしょ。それにパイモンがちょっとパニックになってて。本当はね、小仙人少し落ち着かない様子だったから、ここの食べ物が合わなかったんじゃないかと思う。
そんなことはない。そのようなことは。ならばそろそろ戻るとしよう。
ちょっと待って。実は私が、ほら
これは杏仁豆腐。
そうだよ。前回の料理王決定戦以降、私と元将は好敵手であり、その時に旅館の最上階、実はね、今回フータオがみんなを招待する前に、だから前もって杏仁豆腐をいくつか作って2人に用意するって知ったグオパンも熱心に走り回って、かなり
手間をかけさせた。 だが、受け取っておく。感謝する。
どういたしまして。おっと、そうだった。私が作った杏仁豆腐は、玄章のと口当たりと味が違うかもしれない。
ああ。
よろしくね。さてと。
戻ってくるって約束したのに。お前、オイラのことそんな風に言うな。ならお前の感覚の方が間違ってる。お前の天津は全部オイラが食ってや。
悪い、待たせた。
平気平気。みんな雑談しかしてないし、外で話していようが部屋の中で話そうが別に同じ。
オイラは食べるのに忙しいからな。
そうだ、知り合い同士ではあるけど、せっかくないよ。でも縁起が良くなるように私が思い立ったが吉日。さあまずは卓の上にあるコーラを使おう。おっと、ずいぶん長いこと火がついてたし、お香もつきかけてるね。生々る天、新たな年の繁栄をね。
なるほど。ならこの場で一番身分の尊いお客さんは、きっと滑稽の勝利先生だよね。僕は勝利先生の功績とかやってきたことに詳しくはないけど、さっき話した感じ、彼の見識と、もし知識が力とな。
話のレベルで言えばやはり偉大な。俺はただ記憶力がいいだけに過ぎない。こんな何の変哲もない能力をこうも立派に。そもそも誰が推薦してもいいのなら、俺はやはり同志こそが功を炊くのに適任だと思う。
もうダメだよ。それにお客さんにやってもらうって話でしょ。そうだ、美味しい料理をたくさん食べられたし。
そうなの？
そんなの関係ないって。ほら、シャンリンは1000人の弟子で、かまどの魔人と行動を共にする仲間。それに月酔い祭の料理王決定戦の優勝者でしょ。しかもかの有名な料理屋万民堂唯一の後継者であり、この同志である私の古い友人の一人でもある。
あれ、なんか称号がだんだん尻すぼみして
ちょっとやめてよ。なんだか恥ずかしくなってきちゃう。それならリーウェ校で最大の紹介の一つ、飛雲商会の次男坊の方が
いきなり僕を巻き込む。
おお、それもいいね。紹介の坊ちゃまがお香を焚いてくれたら。
はあ、そんなわけないだろ。それに儲けることも確かにいいが、体の健康や万事だから、ここは邪気払いを得意とする。
ここには高魔大生がいるんだ。身分の序列で言えばここに1000人は
断る。我はここで最も身分の尊いものではない。ここにいる者の洞察力なら、ここにいる皆と縁を持つ者が一人いるとな。
そうだぞ。お前っていっつもオイラのことをからかうけど、まずい。さっきお前の相手なんかしないって言ったばっかだったのに。あれ？まだ他にもいたか？お前はオイラがここで一番尊いお客さん。急にそんなこと言うなよ。 いひひひ。
うん。僕は賛成だよ。共に歩む仲間がいなかったら、冗談を言い合ったり、一緒に騒いだりできる。
ああ。旅人は諸国を旅し、素晴らしい功績をいくつも残した。しかし、お前の旅が平穏で順調で
いきなりそんな褒められるなんて、みんな本気なんだよ。いひひ。ありがとな。さっきはオイラのことをずーっと待たせ。
パイモン、そう気にすることはないさ。
ああ、確かにそうだな。
つまり、旅人にとってのパイ。
うんうん。じゃあ、みんなパイモンで問題。
はあ。
じゃあ、これで決まりだね。ではでは、世界で一番すごい旅人の最高の仲間であり、ガイド兼親友のパイモンに、みんなのためお香を焚いてもらおう。さあパイモン、マッチをしっかり持って。さて、もうだいぶ遅いし、このままみんなを引き止めておく。
だな。
私たちの間にそんなお世辞は。おう、夜道は少し危ないから、私はシャンリンという子。
ああ、僕は平気だから気にしないで。君なら、僕の言ってる場所がどこなのかわかるでしょ。みんなと知り合えてよかったよ。
もちろん。さて、じゃあ私たちも行くよ。ああ、そうだ。勝利さん、後で王城堂に戻ってきてね。
ああ、承知した。では、
テイ君。
勝利でいい。今の俺は、リーユエ校で一人の人間として生きている。身分で言えば、勝利というただの凡人は、高魔体制を敬い。
そんな、めっそうもない。
これは何も冗談じゃないんだ。今年の怪盗音楽祭の期間中、お前たちは歌人同一し、同じことでも別の者が見れば違う様子を。以前ソラヤーというスメールの学者、彼女が見つけた証拠と、ただ人も魔人も人間の文化に根付く伝説には、だが俺や歌人同一神君、竜宮釈風神君、それから将や関羽のような者にとって、そういった属性離れした仙人や神は身近な存在であり、他愛のない話を共に楽し。今この時の光景は民衆にとって将は親しみにくい。つまり一部のことについてはそう気にする必要はないということだ。
勝利様が伝えたいことは。
その様子だと。さて、同志から皆を送るように言われているが、お前たちの実力であれば俺の同伴など必要ないだろう。しばし歩いた後、同志。
勝利、またな。みんな行っちゃったな。こういう賑やかな雰囲気。でもお前が一緒にいて。いやいや、一番尊いガイドのパイモンはずーっと分かってるならいいんだ。ショーはこれからどうするつ つもりだ？
いや、ここで過ごす時間は我が想定したもの。今回は急なことではあったが、ではまたいずれ。
書記官の仕事はとても簡単だ。だからこそこの職位にいる。ああ、靴の中に砂が入った。